there.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Yeah, seriously. It's been a long time.
It has. We hope we're not out of practice.
I think that I'm a little rusty.
Are you a little rusty?
Maybe a little rusty. Welcome back to Tea for All Reasons Facebook Live with me. I'm Jen.
And I'm Marcia.
With Vintage for All Reasons. I'm Tea for All Reasons. The last time we were with you was in April.
And we were keeping our big family trip kind of a secret, kind of on the down low, because we didn't want the whole world to know we were leaving, where we were going to be. But it was great.
Yeah, we did a 2-week tour of England. It was fabulous. And Mom is posting about our adventures over at the England for All Reasons Facebook page, so make sure to head over there and you'll see where we went and photos and the whole thing.
And I think I'm only up to day 5, so you haven't missed a whole lot. You can scroll through and catch up.
It was a great trip. We had a great time. We didn't do as much tea as you would think.
No, we didn't. No,
we did tea once.
We did tea once.
Yeah, we only did tea time, like official tea time, one time.
We were kind of focused on the Sunday roast and the
fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, we were more into the food, actual food. That said, I did drink tea a lot. Mm-hmm. Any place we went to get lunch, I would get a cup of tea to go. So we were drinking tea. We just didn't do afternoon tea.
Right.
Except for the one time. Which is kind of crazy to think. We were there for 2 weeks.
I know.
But it was a great trip and made memories of a lifetime. My kids thoroughly enjoyed probably 99% of the trip.
Yeah, there were a couple of, and we won't go into it tonight, but there were a couple of places that were a little bit of a disappointment, and it wasn't our fault.
Nope.
It was the fault of the venue. But overall, it worked out really well.
Love the trip? Did you love the trip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I not Dirtle Door.
Molly, okay, we climb. Okay, you'll have to Google Dirtle Door, DURDLE door. You have to climb and then climb down to get to see Dirtle Door, and then you have to climb up and back down to get away from dirt. To get back to the car park. And what's funny is I still call it a car park instead of a parking lot. I catch myself doing that, but she didn't enjoy that. I was proud of myself for making that climb, and it was hot that day.
We were proud of you too.
Oh yeah. So the funny thing about that, we get up to the top before you do the down to get to the Dirtle. We're not even at the Dirtle Door yet, but we've done this mammoth climb up, and I'm like, hey, there's a car park right here. Yeah, so they parked down at the bottom when he could have parked at the top, and I would have only had to do the down and up. But no, it was fine, and we got some fabulous views.
Yeah,
because it really is gorgeous.
It is, and it's an experience.
Well worth.
A once in a lifetime experience, right?
Yeah, I won't do that again. Honestly, if we ever go back, I'll be too old to do it. Although I did see some senior citizens who were doing it, but they were probably British. They walk everywhere, and so they're much more fit than I.
Yeah. Although we tracked that we did between 6,000 and 13,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
So we did pretty well.
Yeah. I think I averaged about 8,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
We did a lot of walking.
We did a lot of walking. We did. And a lot of eating.
And a lot of eating.
Which was, they work together.
Yes, absolutely. No, it was a great trip, and we saw some fantastic stuff. So make sure to go over to England for All Reasons to check out her posts, because
it's a lot of good pictures, and I'm not just doing a commentary of what we did, but I'm trying to add a little bit of history and background to the places that we visited.
Yeah.
So
I am posting about it on Instagram, so if you follow Reasons for Tea at Instagram, I'm posting a photo and a little snippet of our trip. But I'm not doing the big thing like she's showing way more photos and and going way more in depth on the places that we went. So. But if you're on Instagram and you want to see my photos, then that's you'll see maybe 1 or 2 a day.
But it was good,
it was
we
great.
were blessed with wonderful weather.
Yeah, we only
I think
had one day of rain.
One day of rain,
And it was really a couple hours.
it was.
on one
And
day.
it really didn't stop us from doing anything.
Nope.
And so we're very, very thankful for
Yeah.
that. Thankful everybody stayed well.
Yep.
Nobody had any injuries.
Nope.
And no delays
No,
anywhere.
no.
No,
Everything.
everything
it
just
was,
worked.
Yeah, it was great.
perfectly, so.
It was great.
Yeah.
Fantastic trip. That we'll never experience that again. It was great.
Well, good.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun. Thanks for inviting us.
You're welcome.
It was fabulous. Okay, so
That's where we were.
that's where we were in May. Okay, so just to remind you, Tea for All Reasons, and the reason we do this is to promote Tea for All Reasons and Vintage for All Reasons. And so, just right off the bat, my website is teaforallreasons.com, and if you want to reach out to me, my email is info@teaforallreasons.com. And do you want to share?
Yeah, and mine is the Etsy shop,
Not vintage. It's Vintage for All Reasons.
vintageforallreasons.etsy.com
There you go.
is where you go. And so you can check out my shop there. I'm not showing anything tonight
No.
because y'all pretty much bought everything
Yeah,
I
they
had
wiped you out.
the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah. If you've been on the page, you've seen
a lot
all
of
the
good
stuff that she brought back.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't bring back stuff for you because I knew she was. I didn't buy anything to sell. Nothing.
Nothing?
I didn't bring. No, I didn't.
Okay.
No,
All right.
I bought it for
Okay.
us.
Okay.
We're keeping it.
All right. Good.
So and gifts.
All right. And
for
gifts.
folks,
Yes.
yeah.
Lots of gifts.
Okay, so a few announcements, and then we're going to get right into our theme for tonight, which is introducing Earl Grey. We were talking about what to do, and I said, I've got about a dozen Earl Grey teas, and so let's feature that collection.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to do, because Earl Grey is more than just the basic Earl Grey tea. There are so many different varieties of Earl Grey, from a green to rooibos, and then some custom blends that we carry. And so that's what we're going to do. And then she's going to do a baking demo that uses one of the teas in it. And she's going to show another one that she did that also used one of the teas in it.
Yeah.
Because you can use the tea.
Yeah, Earl
in,
Grey is wonderful to use in baking. So
Yeah.
I wanted to give you a couple of ideas of what to
Yeah.
do.
And in the baking, you can use the actual leaf or the steeped tea.
Right.
Right. So you're going to talk about both.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought it was safe to
Yep.
say that. Okay. If you're in the group, then you know this, or if you've been poking around the website, the Independence Day blend went live this past week. It is available in the shop, and it's only available until July 8th. At that point, it will be removed from the shop until next year.
And let me just say, it is delish, and it's also beautiful because it is red, white, and blue, and it has the red, white, and blue stars in there.
Yep.
So if you're looking for something for the 4th of July, maybe looking for something to give as a gift for the 4th of July, this is a wonderful blend. It's one I blended years and years ago.
No, this is a different.
Oh,
one.
it's a different.
It's not. It's not,
Not the
Uncle-
original.
No, it's not Uncle Sam's Needs.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay.
No, I don't sell that one.
Okay.
That's Kathy's.
Okay. All right.
I know this is a different blend.
Oh, I'm sure it's good.
It's good.
But it has
it's
the
good,
stars
and
in
it's,
it, right?
it does have the
Okay.
stars in
Okay.
it. Yes, and it is good on ice. And so if you're looking for a tea to serve for the 4th of July Independence Day, is a good iced tea.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Okay, and that is limited edition. I literally only put it out for July 4th,
Okay.
so there you go.
We're gonna get some.
Yep. Also limited are the coronation blends. So the King's blend and the Queen's blend are going out of the shop July 1st. So you can only get them through the end of June, and then they're gone. And that includes the coronation sampler. The other teas that are in the sampler are teas that I carry all the time, and so they're still available. But as the coronation sampler, the sampler is going away July 1st. So if you want those, you need to order those in the next couple weeks because it's going to be gone. And the Kings and the Queens blend, they may come back on occasion for special occasions, but for now, you know, this was for King Charles, and now it's gone. I can't believe it's time already. I feel like I just made this announcement the last time. Subscription boxes. I do a quarterly subscription box, and the time is coming for the next quarter. And so the first week of July, I think the 3rd or the 5th, depending on how your billing goes, but those invoices will go out. Once the payment is made, I will get your box put together, and I will ship those out within 5 business days, typically, is how I do that. And if you're interested in the quarterly subscription, it is listed in the website. You can take a look, but there's a starter box that's 5 1.5 ounce tins of Tea for All Reasons teas. I think you get a tea sack and a perfect cup of teaspoon. Tea sack and a perfect cup of teaspoon in your starter box, and then that's the first quarter, and then the subsequent quarters are just the 5 teas, and they're in bags. And I don't have the bag with me, but you only get 1 set of tins, but then you get a bag with your teas in the subsequent subscription boxes.
And again, I mean, this is great for you, but also it's a
gift.
wonderful gift. Really is.
It is a good gift.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, really.
It does. And I try to do seasonal teas. I do a combination of black and rooibos green. I try to keep them interesting. But if you have an issue with caffeine and need a caffeine-free box, put a note in your order when you do your subscription so that I know that. I have one customer who subscribes and needs a caffeine-free box, and so she actually gets different teas than the other boxes, just so that I make sure that she's caffeine-free.
That's great.
So there's that. And we have other announcements, but we're going to hold those to the end. So you gotta be patient. You gotta stick with us.
You'll be glad.
You will be glad. You will be glad. We got some good stuff. So I was going to take a little bit of time tonight to show some goodies, because I feel like it's been a long time since I've shown some of the necessities that I have in the shop. And so I'll start with the small stuff. So, and I'm going to demonstrate, I've demonstrated this. This is the tea bag steeper clip. And they come in multiple colors. This is the dark blue, and then this is the light blue. And then I'll just show you the other blues. So this one is a teal, and then gray, and I have purple. The purple seems to be really popular and goes out of stock really fast.
Really?
Yeah. And then a pink and red.
I like the red.
I like the red one too. I also have green. I have other colors too. I didn't bring all of the colors to show. I think black and white are out of stock. They always go out of stock fast. They're the first ones that go out of stock. And then purple is next. It's really weird how that goes. And then
how to use that?
Yeah, she's
I'm going to show how to use that.
Yeah, when she gets.
When I do the tea demo later, I will show tea sacks and the clip and how to use that.
By the way, hello to hubby, who's behind the camera tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
Back in his usual place, helping us out.
Yep, and Molly is
Molly's
monitoring.
here.
Molly's monitoring for comments, and so if you have any questions, please type in the comments your questions, and she will make sure we get those, and we will try to answer live, which is why we do it live.
That's right.
I had toyed with the idea of doing video, and then we could have an introduction, like it's a little more professional, but then we can't answer questions live.
Right.
It's
Well,
it's inorganic.
Exactly. No, we like being spontaneous.
I think we're unique because we go live,
and
it's less professional,
but it's it's us.
It's us. You get the real us.
You get the real us.
Okay, so the tea wallets, which these are great.
And I forgot to take mine on the trip.
I brought my tea kit,
You did,
but I
yeah.
didn't. I
But
don't use the
there
wallet.
were times I wished that I had my tea wallet.
I know, in my little bag, it would have been great.
Yeah.
We would have had tea, and we didn't prepare. Anyway, this it's a trifold, and it has a snap to close. And then it's got 6 little pockets inside where you can put tea bags. Like commercial if you buy tea bags from the grocery store, but don't do that. Buy your tea from me. Or
and bag your.
Or
Well,
you
you're
can
gonna
bag
get to
your
that.
own.
Bag your
Yeah,
own.
you can
That's
bag
what
your
you do.
own.
That's what I would do all the time.
Yeah, so I'll show you the other fabrics. I only bought a few of these to show. So I've got this pretty blue, I think it's blueberries, but I think I've called it blue floral.
It's really pretty.
But it's actually blueberries. And then this one's really cute if you're a gardener. It's got the pots.
Yeah.
And then this pretty pink one. And then if you love cats, the kitty cats.
Yeah.
So these are great. And then I do sell this style of tea sack, and I am going to demonstrate how to do these tea sacks. You've seen these before if you've been with us. This is the one which is good for a small mug, I would say. For a big mug too, but I prefer the 2 for a larger mug. It holds more tea and it's easier to do. And then the 3 is, and the 2 will work for a small pot. And then the 3 is for the larger pots. Right. But then I also have these fillable tea bags, and these are great as a gift, or even if you just want to splurge for yourself.
And this is what you fill to put in your tea wallet.
Yeah, so if you want to do the tea wallet, this is good because it actually has a little string to cinch it closed. I'm going to pull one out, and then the struggle is getting them back in. Yeah. I'm not going to actually cinch this closed because I'm going to put this back in here, but you can see the cute little tag on it. This particular one, all of these say tea. So at the bottom you can see what this style is. And then you pull the string. Once your tea is inside, you pull the string to cinch it closed, and then it will work really well in your tea wallet because then your tea won't go everywhere. Yeah. I'm going to get that back in there. I've shown these before. This one has tea quotes. And I'll turn it. So it has 5 different tea quotes, but here's one of them. And then I think this one's called Woodland something or other in the shop. I can't remember. And it's got 5 little cute things on the tag, and then you can see the mushrooms here. And actually you can see the leaf a little bit at the top. Is that showing it? Through the, can you see it, kind of? You got me too, Mom.
Sorry.
That's okay. And then the new one that I got in this week, and I just listed it this morning, is teacups. All of them have the same tag, and it's the little teacups. Can you see that? Very cute. The little stack of teacups. So these, I just got these in, so they're listed in that same listing, where there used to be the 3, now there are the 4 that are available. Excuse me, you got me coughing too.
I know what it is.
It's the dry.
It's the Earl Grey. Yeah. Sorry.
Pardon me, my Diet Coke. And then I wanted to show the tea cozies too, because I feel like it's been a while.
Probably since Christmas.
Yeah, since I showed tea cozies, I showed the Christmas ones. But these are the non-Christmas. So this is the wrap style. This fits the 2 to 4 cup pot. So this is a 3 to 4 cup pot that is in this wrap. And I like to show it on the teapot. Yes. It's got the slot here, and then it's got ribbon to pull it cinched, and then tie the bow so it stays on there. What I like about this one is that you can get access to the lid if you need to add more water to your pot. So this is the 2 to 4 cup size, and then I do have a 6 to 8. Yeah, this says it's 6 cup. You might be able to get a 6 to 8 cup pot, but this is what it looks like when the teapot's not in it. So you can see I recommend putting the spout through this side, and then tie your bow over the handle. That way when you're pouring your tea, it doesn't drip onto your bow. But you just set your pot in here, and you cinch it closed around the top and tie the bow, and you're good to go. So I think this one's called Lavender, I forget what I've called it. It's Lavender something in the shop. And then another one in that same style is this one, and I think this one's Cabbage Rose, something like that. It's terrible. I should remember the names. Very pretty, and this one's got a nice coordinating green on the inside. So these are the wrap style, and I do have others that I did not bring, but I wanted to show those. And then these are the cover kind, and this is the 2 to 4 cup size, and I'll go ahead and take this out so you can see. So you've got your tea in here, and this one just fits right over. This is mostly what you'll see in a tea room because they're easy, but it fits right over this 2 to 4 cup pot. It'll fit over a smaller pot, but it will not fit over anything larger than a 4 cup pot, for sure. And so this one's, I can't remember what this one's called either. Cherry Blossoms. It's got a nice beige coordinating fabric on the inside. I know, I do too. And then I've got this black bistro that has the polka dot on the inside. Again, 2/4 cup.
And those of you who purchased the table
Table
runners
runners.
In the black and also in the white with this design, that would be a perfect accompaniment to go with that.
And then in the 6 to 8, I've got the pink. I don't have the black, but I've got the pink that has this similar motif with the French bistro. And you can tell this is larger, and it's got the nice gray polka dot. But this is the 6 to 8 cup. It'll fit over the smaller pot, but it is made to go over a larger pot. So if you've got anything 6 and up, 6 cups up, this'll fit over that. And then again, this one's 2 to 4 cups, a nice neutral paisley color.
Yeah, I like that. Very nice.
Yeah, I like that one too. So
In the shop.
they are available in the online shop. And like I said, I have other styles. I just didn't bring them. I do have holiday fabrics as well that are available. And so anyway, I just wanted to kind of show that stuff because it's been a while since I've shown off that kind of stuff.
Right.
There was a question, are the tea sacks with the tags for 1 cup only? No, I think you can probably get, so 1 cup being 5 ounces, 5 or 6 ounces. You can probably get 2, okay, so for 1 cup of 5 or 6 ounces of liquid tea, you do 1 teaspoon, one of these teaspoons, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can get 2 in here.
Yeah.
I've done 2.
Because it's pretty comparable to this tea set.
Yeah, because I put, and you can get 2 in the tea set number 1.
And so it's great for a mug.
Yeah, so this will work for a mug. And you can for sure get 2 spoons in here. I should have brought mine. I kept one for myself, and it's in my tea kit.
Yeah.
Because we had them in England.
Right. And bear in mind that, you're seeing this size, and we're comparing it to this, but bear in mind that you have a drawstring, and that's going to make, pull it down to be a little bit smaller.
Yeah, for sure you can get 2 scoops
for sure,
in here for a mug of 8 to 10 ounces, maybe 12 ounces of liquid tea.
Yeah.
So there you go. And I'll show the tea sacks when we do the tea. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you, I have 11 Earl Grey teas to show. I did not bring the decafs because they're just basic black, and well, there's only 1 decaf right now because it's basic black and it looks like a black tea.
Right.
But I do have a decaf cream Earl Grey black. So I'm going to show the teas, and then Mom is going to show one of the things that she pre-made using Earl Grey.
Right.
And then we're going to take a break. And then Marmy's going to come back. Marmy. We call her Marmy. That's her grandma name. And then my mom is going to come back and, sorry.
That's all right.
After 2 weeks of being with you 24/7 and calling you Marmy.
Yep. I get it.
You're Marmy. And that was 3 weeks ago. when we come back, my mom is going to do her other baking demo, get that started and into the oven. And while those things are baking in the oven, I'm going to do the demo of 4 of these teas. I'm going to steep them so that you can see what they look like in the cup. And like I always say, I wish you had smell-o-vision so you could smell it.
Right.
And then we'll show off her baked good, and then we'll do the final announcements, and then that's it.
Right.
So just so you know where we are, because it's 7:30 already.
Okay.
But we're good for time.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so now I'm going to show the teas. Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So before that, Mom's going to give a little stuff.
We thought that it might be interesting to give a little bit of background to Earl Grey. Exactly who was Earl Grey? Was he a real person about to be assigned to all of these wonderful teas? And his name, actually, he's.
Do we have a problem?
Mine cut off. That might have just been me, and it's good now.
Okay. All right. There was an actual Earl Grey. He was actually Lord Charles Grey, and he was a Prime Minister of England during a period of 1830 to 1834, and he was most notably responsible for his political reforms, such as the Slavery Abolition Act in 1833. So if that was all he was known for, that was huge.
That's pretty good.
That was huge. But he was also a promoter of national unity. He wanted unity within the French and English Canadians, and also within the British Empire. So he was a unifier, and he was an abolitionist. So his time as Prime Minister was very important and very valuable during those times. But he seems to be most remembered for the tea, which is called Earl Grey. It is said that Lord Grey received the bergamot-flavored tea as a diplomatic gift that may have been a thank you for saving the life of a Chinese man's son whilst traveling as an envoy. Another theory suggests that it was gifted to cover up the taste of lime in the Earl's water supply. Either way, it's said that he liked it and so much that he asked a British tea merchant to recreate it.
And the lime not being the fruit lime.
No.
But the mineral.
The mineral lime, yeah. Early advertisements for the tea was actually at the early point, it was called Grey's tea, but the Earl was added later to make it sound more posh.
Sounds posh.
Yeah, it sounds posh.
Very proper.
Earl Grey, very proper. So there was a real Earl Grey, and we learned a little bit more about Earl Grey in our travels back in, I think it was 2006 or 2009. Hubby and I traveled to England. One of the main reasons was to visit a tea plantation called Tregatnan, which is located near Truro in Cornwall. And it was at the beginning of their opening up their business. And we got in for a private tour because I owned the tea business, and I had made an overture to them, and they invited us to come and have a private tour with the gardener, which we did, and it was wonderful. Well, during the course of the conversation, at one point he brought us to see the outside of the manor, which is owned by the Boscawen family. And the name kind of rang a bell for us because we have a street in our city called Boscawen. And so he went on to talk about the fact that they were surprised when they came upon some interesting ancestry of the family to find out that they were actually related to Earl Grey. And when they found that out, they thought, well, how appropriate. They're a tea plantation, so they made Earl Grey, their Earl Grey tea, one of their premier teas, and it is one of their most popular teas. So that was just a serendipity information that we got when we visited, and it was wonderful. If you ever decide that you want to have a tour of Tregatnan, At this point, I think they're doing group tours, and so you could check their website and see what they do. But it's a beautiful plantation, and they have grown a lot since we were there, obviously. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Okay. So the only other thing that I wanted to add to that was the bergamot. So bergamot comes from the oil of an orange from Spain. Is very particular to this one variety of orange, and that's what lends the bergamot. It's the oil from the rind of the orange that lends that bergamot flavor to the Earl Grey. So that's the only thing I'll say about that, because Earl Grey is a basic black tea with the bergamot added as a flavoring. And so this is our basic Earl Grey tea. It's black tea with bergamot, and that is it. Nothing else added to it. And some Earl Grey, you may have had an Earl Grey that you love, and then you had another brand Earl Grey that was too sharp, like the bergamot was too much. Every Earl Grey is different, and it's that bergamot that actually makes the difference between it could be the quality of the tea leaf itself too, but a lot of times I think the Earl Greys that taste the best, that bergamot is not as prominent.
Right.
Because it can get sharp and almost bitter.
Yeah, it can. For instance, when I take this and sniff this, it's scent. It's not too strong. It's very pleasing. Sometimes what I found when I was in the business was that it can go flat if it is past the date.
Right.
So you may have some Earl Grey that you say, I'm just not sure I like this anymore. Well, it could be that it's out of date and that it's flat. So you really need to make sure that it's the freshest, and that the scent, the aroma is very pleasing to your nose, even before you brew it.
Right.
You want to make sure of that.
Right, yeah, for sure. Smell your tea, the leaf. Part of the experience and part of getting to know loose leaf tea, especially when it's new to you, like if you're transitioning from using store-bought tea bags to loose leaf tea, smell the tea.
Yeah.
And you may have to answer that one. Because you can smell the difference between the different teas.
Right.
And usually if you like how it smells, you will like how it tastes. Your taste and your smell are very tied in together. Now, that's not always true. There are definitely some teas that I have enjoyed the aroma of both dry and brewed, and then I tasted it and it was not my cup of tea.
Right.
So...
Okay, someone asked about the spelling of Tregothnan, and it's Tregothnan, Tregothnan.
just like it sounds.
Just like it sounds.
Yep. Okay, we got that one.
All right, and he is Lady. How is Lady Grey different? You're going to talk about that.
I'm not. I don't have Lady Grey.
Oh.
I don't think I know the answer to that. I would have to look it up.
Actually, I think the Lady Grey is the one with the lemon.
It may be, and I don't have a Lady Grey.
Right. Yeah, that's the one with
That's
the lemon.
what you were asking me about.
Yeah.
I don't carry a Lady Grey. I should, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this other question is, I heard it was a favorite of Queen Elizabeth. Is that true? Yes.
Yes.
That was her
my
favorite.
Yep. Her afternoon tea was Earl Grey.
Yeah.
Do we have more coming? Questions. I love it. Is lavender Earl Grey?
A lot of questions today.
Okay, that's good. I like it. Lavender Earl Grey overpowering. Oh,
No.
it can be.
It can be, but not Jen's.
But I don't sell lavender.
Well, but you have had it.
I don't currently
so
have lavender.
good.
I guess I'll have to add it to the shop. So I actually
I'm
have
sorry.
some. Dang it. So the issue with lavender is if you use too much, it starts to taste soapy. Yeah. So it is a very fine, delicate line that where enough lavender is enough, and one or two of those little things could take you over the edge, and it tastes like soap.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't carry a lavender Earl Grey. But
you do have one close.
I have one that has lavender
and
in
it's not
it.
overpowering at all.
As long as I blend it right.
Yeah. It's all in the blending.
It's all in the blending.
And the brewing.
And the brewing too. Yeah. Okay. So I showed you the basic black Earl Grey, and I am going to demonstrate that. I'm going to move it over here. So later, when I steep teas, I'm going to do the basic Earl Grey. Okay. Next is Baroness Grey. Now this is, I would say, similar to Lady Grey.
Right.
Except that instead of lemon, it's orange flavor that's been added. There are there's a tiny little bit of rose petals that are added, and it also has cornflower petals. This says lime leaves, like this particular one. I don't think that they probably just help to bring out the orange flavor, but it's definitely an Earl Grey. It's got that bergamot with another orange added to it. So the bergamot is different than the other orange that's added to it.
But not too strong at all.
No,
Not
it's
too
actually a
strong of a
really
bergamot.
lovely
Yeah.
tea. And one of my wholesale customers asked me if I had a decaf version of Baroness Grey, and I don't, and none of my suppliers have a decaf version, but so I'm trying to create one. And so I've been working on it. It paused, of course, for our vacation and my work trips, but I am getting back to that. And so I'm hoping in the next few weeks that I will have a decaf Baroness Grey, which would be a nice addition to the decaf blacks. Okay, so that's Baroness Grey.
And you're not.
Somebody just said they didn't know about Earl Grey before Captain Picard.
Oh, yes, Earl Grey
that's
hot
right.
when he would get his
Yes,
Earl Grey.
that was his favorite.
I actually drank a lot of Earl Grey. So when I grew up drinking tea when we lived in England, Twining's English breakfast was my go-to. But I did learn to really like Earl Grey even when I was little. Twining's probably still too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but,
didn't have a lot of choice back then.
No, it was yeah. I mean,
It was
proper. Like, okay, so on our trip, whenever I got tea, they would ask me, "Do you want?" It was either English breakfast or Earl Grey. Those were the only choices, and most of the time I went for the English breakfast.
Yeah, it's when you go to the nice tea rooms, you get
You
a much
the variety.
greater variety.
Is the lavender the same as the blue flowers? Yes, it's dried lavender.
Oh, the same as the blue flowers, cornflower.
Oh, the cornflowers in the Baroness Grey that I just showed you, those are cornflower petals. They're different. When I show you the French lavender rose, which is coming next, you'll see the lavender. It's the little buds off of the lavender plant that get dried. And they're used in a lot of different ways, mostly soaps, lotions, perfumes, those kinds of things, like stuff for bedding and all of that.
Yeah.
But it can be used for food as well.
Yeah, there is culinary.
There is culinary lavender. Yep. And so this is French lavender rose, and this is one of our custom blends. And you can see the lavender in there. There's a little blue flowers. It does have rose petals in it, and then the Earl Grey tea. And
I love this one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. Now I will admit it's not my cup of tea because I don't like rose in my tea, and I thought I was going to like this. I don't like lavender in my tea, but that's not to say that you wouldn't.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely tea. I really do, and it's not too heavy with lavender.
Where did the Baroness Grey?
I
Oh,
put
you
it
took
over
it
there
over
'cause I'm
there. Okay.
Yeah, talk about it.
It's like, wait a second.
I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. Okay, then the next one is Raspberry Earl Grey. And this is another one of our
And that was the very first tea I
custom
blended.
blends. Yes. This is a custom blend. Basic black tea. And it tastes just like it smells. It tastes just like it sounds. It's Earl Grey with raspberry flavor.
It does taste just like it smells.
It does. And this one is my cup of tea. I really, really like the raspberry Earl Grey. That raspberry adds a nice touch of sweetness to balance out the bergamot. It's a good combination. And this is a popular one. So that's the raspberry Earl Grey. And now we're going to get into, you know what, I'll save these for the end.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one is Princess Grey. And I added this one to the shop last summer, I think. If you look at the list of ingredients, it mentions orange, but it actually peach flavor. Yes?
I gotta reconnect, but it's connected back. So
Oh, okay. Did we lose connection?
Yeah, same as me.
Oh, okay.
it's back.
Okay, we're back.
All
Okay,
right.
so I'll start
Sorry about
over.
that.
Yeah, I'll start over again. So this is Princess Grey, and I added it to the shop last year. And when you look at the ingredients, it says orange is one of the ingredients, and it does have little orange pieces in it. But it also has kind of a peachy flavor to it. A little bit of it's an interesting aroma. Kind of peachy. It's a nice, mild Earl Grey.
It's lovely.
It's very nice.
Hold it up again so they can sniff their screens.
Yeah, sniff your screen.
If only.
I know. One of these days. Anyway, and then the petals are chrysanthemum petals, just in case anybody's wondering. So that's Princess Grey. Do you like to make cold tea with the raspberry tea? Yeah, the raspberry Earl Grey makes a really nice iced tea.
Yeah.
And same with the Princess Grey.
I would agree.
A very nice iced tea. Most of our teas are good on ice.
They are.
You can make it hot or cold.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one is my absolute favorite. And this is the Berry Grey. I love this one. Yeah, absolutely my favorite. Okay, so it's Earl Grey tea, and it's got
especially iced.
it's got a lot of fruit in it. It's just delightful. I can't even begin to explain. It has kind of a strawberry, almost a hint of watermelon in it. It's summer fruit flavors added with the Earl Grey tea. Sadly, one of the base ingredients to make this has been discontinued. And so I am working to figure out how to replicate that. Because if I have to discontinue this, I'm going to cry, because it literally is my favorite tea. Of all of the teas that I carry, the Berry Grey is my go-to when I can't decide what to drink any other day.
You know, that's really good you can answer that, because I was asked that question so many times and I couldn't answer because...
That's my go-to.
Wow, that's good.
I love it. And so I am going to demonstrate this one.
Okay.
Because I think...
Does it come out pretty?
It's black tea.
But
So someone asked, is Princess Grey equivalent to Countess Grey? I think the Baroness Grey
yeah, because
is the
if
Countess Grey.
You're talking about...
Oh, you mean Dowager Countess?
Countess.
If you're talking about the Dowager Countess, no, they're not the same.
No.
And I'm going to show Dowager Countess
Yeah,
in
because
a
that
minute.
has a different ingredient
Yeah,
in it.
if you're talking about our Dowager Countess Grey, Baroness Grey is different. They're two totally different teas. If you're talking about somebody else's Countess Grey, I have no idea. Can you remind us which are in the sampler? I don't remember what's in the sampler. You'll have to go to the website. I do have an Earl Grey sampler that's available in the shop. And because I have 11 total teas, but only 6 are in the sampler, I feel like it's Earl Grey, Cream Earl Grey, Rooibos, Raspberry Earl Grey, Berry Grey, and maybe Princess Grey. But that could be wrong.
But they're listed on the website.
But if you go and look at the Earl Grey sampler on the website in the online shop, it will list the teas that go into that sampler for sure. Okay, so since we just talked about the Dowager Countess Grey, so this is from our newly renamed Edwardian era collection. It's a custom blend that Mom created, actually, for the Dowager Countess, for that famous TV show from PBS about the aristocratic family that I can't name. I'm not going to name it. But anyway, so this is in their honor. You know who the Dowager Countess is. Anyway, so this is an Earl Grey. Is it cream Earl Grey?
No,
It's just Earl Grey base.
Earl Grey, as I recall. Yeah, and
Yeah.
but it has pomegranate.
Yep, pomegranate flavor. It's got rose petals, cornflower petals, and it's got the pretty pearls,
Yeah.
sugar pearls in there. So if you're watching sugar, it does have added sugar.
I don't think it's cream Earl Grey.
Okay. I don't think it's cream Earl Grey. I think it's regular Earl Grey. I blend so many things; they all run together.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the Dowager. Someone asked, or they said they love Twinings Earl Grey, so what would you recommend? My plain Earl Grey. Did we disconnect again?
But it's back.
Oh, okay. Man, I wonder what's going on.
Happened today.
Huh. We got gremlins in the system. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So I don't know if you heard the answer. For someone who loves Twinings Earl Grey, what do I recommend? Our plain Earl Grey. But I would also recommend our cream Earl Grey.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to show the cream Earl Greys last. The next one is a rooibos, which is naturally decaffeinated, and this is Bingley from our Jane Austen collection. And it is a cream Earl Grey rooibos, which I'm going to show, with lemon.
It's delicious.
And it's fantastic. It's lemony, creamy,
Yeah.
but with that Earl Grey flavor.
Yeah.
And so that's Bingley. I also offer a black rooibos version of Bingley. I kind of messed up when I was blending, and I forgot that it was supposed to be the rooibos cream Earl Grey, and I used black cream Earl Grey. And so I offer both the black and the rooibos version. But what I brought to show is the rooibos version, and I am going to steep that. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, and so what I saved for last is the cream Earl Grey, which I have mentioned. And I actually prefer the cream Earl Grey over regular Earl Grey. And the reason why is it's got a hint of vanilla in there that warms and kind of rounds out the sharpness of the bergamot.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's a perfect pairing that just takes Earl Grey tea to the next level. And so I actually, I love regular Earl Grey, but I do recommend the cream Earl Grey, especially if you have never liked Earl Grey before. Try the cream Earl Grey, because I think you may find that you like this, because that little hint of vanilla really does.
It softens it.
It softens
Yeah,
that bergamot.
It's just so nice.
It's great, and it's got the little blue. I know we keep showing the little blue cornflower petals. That's just visual.
Yeah.
And so that's the cream Earl Grey black, and I do have a decaf version of the cream Earl Grey available. Strangely, I don't have a decaf plain Earl Grey, although I am looking to get some, because I think people would like to have a decaf version of that.
Yeah, there are a lot more Earl Grey lovers out there than
I
than
think
thought,
I
so
think it's a go-to for a
probably
lot
a
of
good
people.
thing to
So
have
so I am looking to get a decaf version of that, but of a black. But I do have a decaf version, and that is the Rooibos Cream Earl Grey, and it's Earl Grey in a Rooibos tea and that little bit of vanilla. So what's interesting is Rooibos is a little bit sweeter naturally, and then you add that vanilla, and it's a nice decaf option.
Yeah.
If you like Earl Grey but can't do the caffeine, the cream Earl Grey is available. Cream Earl Grey Rooibos. And then my third cream Earl Grey, because you can never have too many, is green. So if you like green tea and you've wanted an Earl Grey in green tea, I do have the green cream Earl Grey available in the shop. And it's just like it sounds, it's green tea, Earl Grey flavoring, but with that little bit of vanilla that gives it that extra punch.
Yeah, and if you have a cold, I mean, that would be wonderful to drink if you have a cold or the flu or something like that, because the creaminess and the green tea with the antioxidants, that would be really good.
And so I'm going to demonstrate that so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to do 2 black teas, a rooibos, and the green tea. And I think that's everything.
Okay.
And I said I was going to add the decaf, and I have the decaf cream Earl Grey.
Okay.
And I'm working on the decaf Baroness Grey.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so that's it for my little show here. You're going to show your thing,
I am.
and then we'll take a break. Yep. All right.
Okay. Well, here's the first item I wanted to show you, and it was a hard decision to make, but in a way it kind of played itself out because I was really concerned that we wouldn't have enough to show you, and then when it got right down to it, I realized we had too much to show you, and there were too many steps to prepare this particular item. So I decided to make it in advance and show you what it looks like and kind of run through the process. Obviously, the recipe will be provided next week, and I do want you to try it. This is an Earl Grey chocolate mousse, and it was super easy, and I did kind of a lighter version. I mean, I didn't, you know, there's no low-fat whipped cream, but I didn't use egg yolks, and so it is a little bit lower fat. And I brought the Baroness Grey over here because this was the Earl Grey that I used in the mousse, and I will kind of tell you how that was used. There are 2 different methods for using Earl Grey or any tea in a recipe. The first is to infuse the liquid, and the other is to grind the tea leaves, maybe in a coffee grinder or with a mortar and pestle, grind it and add it to the recipe. In kind of a way of experimenting and kind of learning by doing, I realized that the best way for me is to infuse the tea, and it just, I think, gives a much nicer and fail-safe, let's say, method for using your tea. You could use any of the Earl Greys that Jen showed you, but I chose this one because it's an Earl Grey with orange, and I think orange goes really well with the chocolate. I think lavender would also go really well with the chocolate. Even the berry gray would be good. It's just a very subtle flavor. You can hardly tell, but it is determined by the amount of tea you use and the length of time that you infuse the liquid. I think in this case I could have used a little more tea to make it a little bit stronger, and I will indicate that when I send you the recipe. But basically it was easy to make. I used a double boiler to melt the chocolate. There were 2 different kinds of chocolate. I whipped the whipped cream. I beat the egg whites, and I infused the another batch of whipped cream with the tea, and then let it stay hot. And then after the chocolate was melted, I added that infused liquid into the chocolate and mixed that, and then added the cream and added the egg whites that had been beaten, folded those in, and that was it. That was basically the recipe. It was super easy to do. And I did these this morning and chilled them, and they're all set for the family to enjoy tonight. So that's one recipe, and then when we come back from our break, I'm going to demonstrate how to make some Earl Grey blueberry lemon scones. And this is a little bit different recipe. It's not the typical scone recipe that I've shown you in the past that use that uses just whipping cream. I'm going to actually do a little more complicated, but not intimidating in any way. Scone recipe with egg and butter and some cream and milk. So, all right, I think that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to take a 5-minute break because I'm mostly set up. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
set
you're
up.
mostly set up
Yeah.
too. Okay, so we'll do a 5-minute break because it's been almost an hour.
Yeah.
Give you a chance to get a beverage, a potty break. And so we will be back at 8 o'clock, which is
Perfect.
a little more than 5 minutes, but
Okay, at 8 o'clock.
8
That would be
o'clock
good.
we'll be back.
All right, see you
Okay.
then.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. No, you don't need to do that. We're good.
I'm putting this.
Why is this? Hopefully you're back. We're back. Turned off the music. Okay. So now, part 2, Marmy's gonna, yeah, forevermore you're gonna be Marmy.
That's all right.
Marmy's gonna do her baking demo. Do we need the oven on?
Yes, we do. Uh-oh. Yes, we do. 400. Thank you.
All right, I got you.
Okay. All right. So what we're making is Earl Grey lemon blueberry scones. You could leave out the lemon blueberry if you wanted to, but I just love lemon and blueberry together, and it's summer, and it's just a great flavor for summer. So, and as I said, these are a little bit different, a little more involved in making, but certainly not shouldn't intimidate you. And these are going to be super yummy. So what I've already done is to add into the bowl, I've added the flour, the all-purpose flour, which is, in my mind, the best is King Arthur. I've added a half a cup of sugar. Now that's a bit more sugar than I normally put in scones. I usually put maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons, but this recipe calls for a half a cup. So they're going to be a sweeter scone. And they're also going to have a glaze, which is going to add some more sweetness. I put a pinch of salt and baking powder. And again, all these ingredients, I'm not going to quote to you tonight. I'll send the recipe to Food for All Reasons next week, and also to Tea for All Reasons Facebook page. So those are the dry ingredients. And then I prepared the Earl Grey infusion earlier and brought it to room temperature as it was steeping, and then once it was done steeping, I put it in the fridge to get it cold. And this is milk, not cream. This is milk infused with Earl Grey. And again, I'll give you the amount when I send the recipe, but I would say to you that it's a matter of taste. You might prefer a little more, you might prefer a little less. I think I used 4 kind of heaping teaspoons of Earl Grey into a tea sack and infused it into the milk as it had scalded. Got to the, yes.
We got disconnected.
Okay.
Repeat that last.
Okay. I think I used about 4 teaspoons of Earl Grey into a tea sack, and then scalded the milk, put the tea sack in to infuse, and brought it down to room temperature. And then I put it in the fridge to chill. So that's the infusion. But again, I'm going to send you the instructions for that.
You're not sending them, you're going to post them.
I'm going to post them, yes. And it's about a half a cup. But before I start adding the liquid ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and add the blueberries. I always add, and these are dried blueberries. I prefer to use a dried fruit because, and you can certainly use fresh fruit if you want, but I think they tend to get a little bit too moist and kind of messy to eat. So I like the dried. So we're going to add that, and then we're going to add the wet ingredients after we add the butter. No? That's not right. We're going to add the wet ingredients and the butter. And we're going to add a beaten egg. No, you know what? I'm going to do the butter first. Got to pay attention to my own instructions. And what I did with the butter, I don't always do this, like with pie crust or what have you, but I decided to go ahead and do this time. I grated the butter. I froze the butter, I grated it, and then I put it in the fridge to stay cold. And so it looks like a lot of butter, but it's only because it's been grated. If you were to just cut the butter into small cubes or what have you, it wouldn't look like as much. But the butter was about but I think the butter was 3/4 of a cup of salted butter. So I'm going to add that. And then we're going to cut it in, and you can You know, you can use your fingers if you want to. You can use a fork, forks. I usually use a good old pastry cutter. And I have more and more lately, I've been using my fingers with rubber gloves on because I don't like getting the dough under my nails. But it works pretty well doing it with your fingers.
So in culinary school, they forced us to do everything by hand.
Did they?
And so when we would make, in our case, we were doing pie crust, but it's the same principle. You've got very cold butter that you're mixing into your dry ingredients, and you want the butter to be very small pieces. And they made us do it by hand so that we could feel with our fingers how small that butter was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of, we're working with the dough, putting it back in the fridge because our hands were warming up the butter. You don't want to melt
Yes.
the butter. So,
That's right.
so use your hands. That's how you learn, how you get down to the small little pea-sized pieces or smaller, depending
Yeah.
on what it is that you want for your dough, whether it's pie dough, scones, biscuits.
Yeah.
Biscuits being American biscuits, which are like scones, but
Right.
different.
But the thing I will say about grating your butter is it makes it a lot easier.
Well, yeah, you're starting out.
You're
with
starting
tiny
out
pieces.
with tiny pieces, and so you're really getting to the accomplished consistency very quickly. Okay, with that done, I'm going to add the beaten egg. Now you could add lemon zest if you wanted to. I didn't happen to have a lemon, so I'm using a half a teaspoon of lemon extract and a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're also going to add that infused, Earl Grey infused milk. And I can already smell the lemon.
So you added the milk, we got disconnected again.
Yeah, we added the milk. We added the liquid ingredients, the beaten egg, the lemon extract, the vanilla extract, and the tea infused milk. Now I have a little extra milk over here just in case we need some extra. I'm going to add just a little bit. That's going to come together nicely.
Here, I'll move that out of the way.
Yeah, I'll take it just a little bit. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Now, as I said before, some recipes call for using ground Earl Grey tea, the dried tea, and Jen and I were talking about this earlier. I don't know, if you don't grind it up enough, you start to get kind of a crunchy feel, and I just don't like it. It kind of reminds me of eggshells, and I don't like it. So that's why I prefer doing the infused method rather than actually adding. I think adding the tea makes it look pretty,
Yeah.
but I don't like the.
Yeah, so you would want to have a spice grinder or like a coffee grinder that does very fine, like an espresso
Yeah.
kind of grind, because espresso is a very fine coffee ground. So you would want to do something like that with tea, similar, so that it's more like a powder.
Right.
Instead of bigger bits. You really don't want those big bits in your cookies or your scones, cake, whatever it is that you're baking.
Right.
You want it to be more like a powder.
And the other thing is that having the ground tea leaves will change the color of the dough. And I don't like that either, so I just think the infused method is the way to go.
Yeah.
As long as you've got a liquid that you're going to be able to do it
Right.
with.
Yeah. It depends on what you're making.
Depends on what you're making. Okay, so I'm just going to knead this, not like bread. It's just really to bring the dough together.
Yeah, you don't want to overwork it, or you're going to end up with
They're going to be tough.
tough scones.
Yeah,
That looks pretty good.
it does. I forgot to get out my rolling pin, Jen, if you don't mind, in that drawer over there. Pull it out.
Got disconnected again.
All right.
But we're back.
All right. Sorry about that. We don't know why.
Well, and hopefully it's just us and nothing. It's all seamless for you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's commented that they've been disconnected. So.
Yeah. Well, I hope you'll hang with us. All right. You can even.
One person has.
One. Okay.
You can even see the little bits of butter in there, which is going to be great, and the little bits of blueberry. So I'm not going to roll this out very far. It's not like a pie dough. It's just scones. Now at this point, I mean, you've got a choice. You can cut it into wedges if you want to. To me, the wedges are really more of a breakfast scone. I like doing the traditional ones, the round ones. Jen, if you could move.
Bring the pan over.
Yeah, bring the pan over, make a space for the pan. There you go. So you want your scones to be about an inch high. You want them to rise really well, really high. And remember, when you're cutting your scone, you don't want to twist. You want to just push your cutter down and pull away. And there you go.
Yeah. Why do you not twist?
Well, it breaks down the rising. You don't want anything that's going to break down the ability for the scone to rise. Another neat tip is to not place your scones too far apart. You want them kind of close together because the heat from each other is going to help them rise as well.
Yep. Someone asked, can you freeze the dough for future use?
We've talked about this before, haven't
have,
we?
yep.
And we actually, if you go back
I
to
forget which one.
to one,
We did a demo.
We did of 3.
Yeah, we did a demo of frozen, like baked from frozen, baked from thawed, and fresh.
And the fresh still came out.
They came out
best.
better.
Yeah,
Baked from thawed were not bad. The baked from frozen didn't do right,
didn't do right. Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
So the answer is you can, but the quality is not going to be as good.
Yep. You're better baking them and freezing the baked scones.
And this is what we do all the time.
Yep.
We do it all the time.
You just want to make sure that they're completely cool and very well sealed from the air before you put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Individually.
Yeah, you that's very often what I'll do is
Yeah,
I'll wrap
them
them
individually. Within your container, whatever container.
Yeah, and I usually use a cookie tin to put mine in the freezer. And then Jen, if you want to, you can use this milk and
To
brush.
Oh, that's for the glaze.
And we're back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What I asked Jen to do for me is to brush them with some milk to give them a nice golden color. All right. Now, You don't want to waste any dough. We're going to do this again. Just pat that out and get maybe 3 more. How many do we have there? 9. Yeah, I'd like to get a dozen. These won't be quite as pretty as the other ones.
They might.
They might.
They don't look too bad.
Not too bad. All right, and then this is the one hubby always likes, is the last one, the big one.
The ugly one.
The ugly one. Well. All right, there we go. And you can sprinkle them with sugar if you want to. I think there's going to be enough sugar, so I'm not going to do that with these.
Yeah, I wouldn't with these.
Don't
and
think
they're
they-
getting a glaze too.
Yeah, did we get that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it kind of soaked in. So
Yeah, that's okay.
little black thing I'm trying to. There we go.
All right, and into the oven we go. All right.
Okay. And these are still hot, so they should.
Well, I still have to more.
So I don't know if I'm not gonna use that. Okay. All right. So we're coming over here, and I'm gonna steep tea. Before I do that, somebody asked, and they may think that we missed their question. We didn't. It just wasn't related to what Mom was doing with the scones. Someone asked, do you ever make Yorkshire pudding at home? Yes, we do.
Yes.
We do Sunday roast for Christmas, right?
Yes.
And with Yorkshire pudding, and it's delicious. Love it. Yes, and we ate a lot of Yorkshire pudding while we were, not a lot, maybe twice while we were in England.
The George.
The George, and then the Mitre. Yes, love Yorkshire pudding. I could talk about Yorkshire pudding all day long because it's one of my favorites. Okay, so reheating the water. So we already had the kettle going earlier, but I'm just going to make sure that it's at boiling. Although the green tea doesn't need that. Okay, so I've shown you this before. These are the tea sacks. Remember, in the box, they come sealed 2 together, and so I like to show this on occasion because I don't want you to be confused. So the bottom is, they're kind of tacked together, so this is the bottom, and then this is the top of the other one, and you just pull them apart, and you actually have 2. And I'm going to do the others. So here's the other 2. I've got the bottom and the top, and just pull them apart. So I'm going to use tea sacks. Normally when you're doing teacups, beautiful teacups, you're not doing tea sacks, you're going to do pots of tea. But I think we found the last couple of lives that doing the demo directly in the cup has worked pretty well for showing off the tea. So to open it, I take the spoon and I just kind of push that bottom open so that I then have a nice opening for getting the tea in there. This is the perfect cup of teaspoon that we sell. I also have a perfect pot of teaspoon. But remember, a cup of tea is a cup of tea, a teacup, which is usually a 5 or a 6 ounce cup. And one of these spoons does one of these cups. If you're doing a mug that's typically 8+ ounces, you're going to want to do, are you freezing up again? For a mug, you do 2 scoops. And then for the pot of teaspoon, the pot of teaspoon does 3 to 4 cups. So like that pot that I showed earlier is a 3 to 4 cup pot. You're going to use one of those scoops. I tend to do a heaping scoop, even with the cup, because I like a stronger tea. And for stronger tea, use more tea, not more time. If you steep your tea too long, it can get bitter. Okay, that's Tea Demo 101. And if you're interested, we do have a Tea Demo 101 Facebook Live. It's one of the first ones we did, where I go through all of those steps, but in more detail, at our YouTube channel. If you search for Tea for All Reasons at YouTube, you'll find the Facebook Lives that we've done that are posted there. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do, hold on, I'm grabbing my kettle. Okay. All right, so the first one I'm going to show is the Earl Grey. And again, this is a 5 to 6 cup 5 to 6 ounce cup. So I'm only going to do 1 spoon, but like I said, I do a heaping spoon. So I put the bowl of the spoon in the tea sack, and then I turn it to empty it, and the tea is in the sack perfectly. I haven't spilled any, and it's ready to go. And then I fold it over. Oh, see, this happened earlier. This is a well-used tea clip, and so this is a little loose, so it comes apart a little bit. I gotta tighten that up. Okay, so here's the clip. I've used that to clip the bag closed. I'm only gonna show it with the first one. It works better for a mug. It drapes over the mug, and it keeps your tea sack from falling into the mug where you can't get it out, especially the tea sacks, because they don't have strings or tags. Okay, so that's the Earl Grey, and I'll do the other black one, which is the Berry Grey, and we'll give both of those 3 minutes. All right, come on, open up. There we go. Berry Grey. There we go. Got it. And you can see that's got that fruit in there, my favorite. The tea. Okay. And I'll pour that over. All right. So we'll give those 3 minutes. And then the other two that I was going to demonstrate are the Rooibos Bingley. And the tea sack is great for the Rooibos because you see that little needle. It's such a small little leaf. We've done demonstrations with tea infusers. The Rooibos goes right through all those little holes in a tea infuser, unless you have a really, really fine mesh. So the tea sack works great for Rooibos because it keeps all those little needles from getting into your tea. So this is Bingley. Oops. And that's going to steep. See, and this is why you need the little clip, but I managed to get it before it got wet. That's Rooibos, so that's going to steep 3 to 5 minutes. So black tea typically 3 minutes, typically, to your taste. If it goes much longer, it will start to get bitter. So if your tea has been bitter and you haven't liked it, try steeping it for a shorter amount of time. And you may find that you actually do like it. I thought for years that I hated green tea until I realized I was steeping it way, way, way too long. So green tea into the tea sack. Green tea, steep 2, maybe 3 minutes. Like a gunpowder green tea, I might steep for 3. For sure not longer than 3, but this one I'm only going to steep for 2. And this is the Cream Earl Grey Green. Okie dokie. So we'll let those steep. Beautiful. And then we'll show them off in the cup.
Start a 2-minute timer.
Yeah, I'll do a 2-minute timer and then timer. So we're waiting.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to,
On that one?
That one's done. Okay.
Okay. All right. So the Earl Grey is done, and we'll let the Berry Grey go for a little bit longer. And the time it takes me to squeeze this bag, that one might be ready. So the Earl Grey was the first one, and I sell these tea bag squeezers. They're great. It helps you get every drop out of your tea bag or tea sack. Also, if it does fall down into your mug, you can use it to fish it out because it has a nice grip. So that's the Earl Grey Black, just the basic Earl Grey. And that looks like a pretty good cup of tea.
Does.
And then the Berry Grey, I might give that another little bit. It may be a little paler because it's got the fruit in it too.
This is the rooibos.
That's the rooibos, yeah. So this is the Berry Grey, which is black tea. And again, it's a little paler than the regular Earl Grey because it's got that fruit mixed into it. So it's less of the black tea that you're steeping. I can smell it. It makes me so happy. Oh, I love that. Okay, so that's the Berry Grey. Let's do the Cream Earl Grey because we're close. That is a perfect cup of green tea. Just the right color.
It is beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful cup. And then the rooibos. I can smell your scones. And so here's the rooibos Bingley. And so there you go. Now, it may not be easy, it may be hard to see the difference between the black tea and the rooibos tea online, but this is definitely redder than this black tea.
Yeah, it is. To our view.
To our view, yeah.
Yeah.
And for sure, it's darker and redder than the Berry Grey black tea. And that is black tea. And then the green tea, of course, too. So here you go. There are the 4 teas. I like doing the demo, even though you can't taste it, you can't smell it, because you do get to see what they look like in the cup.
Right, right.
So that you know what to expect if it's a new tea to you. Like, for instance, the Berry Grey. It does have fruit in it, and so when you're steeping it, it's less black tea in the mix than what you get in the plain Earl Grey, and so it is going to be lighter in color. But it is of the same hue as the black tea. It's just a little paler.
You know, being in England again and having tea over there, it just shows me again how our brewing method is spot on when compared to what they do, because I think that people have in mind that the tea has to be really dark.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't. You're just getting, I think that's one reason why people don't like tea.
Yeah, they're steeping it.
They're steeping it too long.
I think Americans in particular, especially who are trying to maybe move away from coffee to tea, are trying to maybe think that it needs to be as dark as coffee.
Right.
It should never be as dark as coffee.
No.
Even the dark teas that are getting popular now, like Pure, that should never be as dark as coffee.
This is what we've seen in England for sure. When they bring a pot and pour our first cup,
that's what
this is what it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah. So
For sure.
we've always said that we prefer the English style, and this is showing you the English style.
Exactly. Yep. So that's that. Should we go on to our announcement? How much more time on this?
I think about 5 more minutes. So is that what does it say 3?
The timer says 3, but we can talk about. We can start talking about this.
Well,
Okay.
Golly, they look done.
Oh, all right. Well, then we'll wait and we'll see what her scones look like. We're pausing. Do we have any questions?
I just said,
Oh,
if
you
anyone
just
has
said it.
questions, now is a very good time to ask them.
No, if we don't have any questions. we're waiting. I'll show this while we're waiting. I meant to show this earlier. So if you've been around, you know I have had the samplers, and they used to come in these cello bags with a bow, and I changed the packaging to these boxes. So this is what the Coronation sampler looks like, and it has a label on the back that lists the teas and the ingredients. So I think it's a better product overall, but that's what that looks like. I meant to show that earlier and I forgot. Are the scones ready?
They are.
Oh, okay. So you can bring the camera over and we'll take a look at the scones. They kind of ran together.
They did, but I
That's
think
okay. They look good.
they look good. Again, this is a different recipe than what I normally do. Mine are usually definitely look different, but I think with the lemon blueberry, and with the glaze and everything, I think these would be awesome for breakfast.
Yeah, they look fabulous.
Really. So, okay, so the next step is to do the glaze.
Would you normally let them cool before you put the glaze on them?
Well, you could. You want to go to the next step?
Well, no, I'm asking if they should be cooled before you.
I don't.
It says slightly cooled. I mean, it's slightly cooled.
Yeah, slightly cool. And normally I would put them on the rack, but I
Right.
don't want the
Yeah, the glaze
the
to go
goo.
everywhere. Yeah, no.
So what I was going to do is do the glaze and then take them off.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Okay,
right.
go ahead. Sorry,
All
I
right.
didn't mean to
For the
interrupt.
sake of time, we're going to do it. What?
Glaze with that.
Yeah.
No, she's gonna. That's a
I'm gonna
that's a
mix.
whisk.
Going to mix it. Okay. I believe it calls for 4 tablespoons of heavy cream. I'm not going to put it all in at once. I'm going to see. I think it said 3 to 4. And then I am going to add a little bit of lemon
3 to 4.
extract there. So we'll see.
You might need more.
Need the extra. Yeah.
And the powder is?
Powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar. Actually, use a little bit more.
You wanna?
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah,
little bit
you
of
can
milk
use a little
here.
of the milk. That'll work.
So I'll adjust the recipe. Because you don't want an icing, you want
Yeah,
it
you
to
want
be
it
able
glazed.
to glaze. So. I
Yeah, you want it to drizzle.
want it to drizzle. Yeah. All right, Jen, if you could just grab me a spoon. Sneaky.
Okay, there's a little fugitive. I'm gonna take that little fugitive too.
Okay, so I'm not going to be fancy with this. That's fancy.
I was gonna say you're not gonna be fancy, and yet it's fancy.
But it is fancy.
It's simple.
It's simple. You don't have to have a piping
No,
bag
no,
or anything.
You're just drizzling.
Just drizzling it on. Oh my, yummy, yummy! I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't want that. Thank you. No, thank you.
I was about to say, why are you going to take it?
All right. So Jen, if you want to get a plate, and we'll open these. Open one, cut into one of these, and see how it looks. Because I really do want to get some pictures for the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that later too. I think that's it. Look at that. Oh, wait a minute. Missed
Yeah,
one.
I was gonna say you.
Missed that one, right?
Yep.
you could use all that if you want to, but
I think that's
I
plenty.
think that's plenty.
Yep.
Okay, so let's cut into one of these. Or you gonna try it?
Yeah, I'll try it. Let's see if it'll break open. They didn't rise. They spread more than
They spread,
rise.
yeah. Yeah, and that actually looks like the photograph. I have definitely adjusted the recipe from the original, but it was not one that rose as high.
So I don't like to usually use a knife to cut my scones open because I want they look like they could have gone a little more.
No, I think they're good.
Okay.
And so you can put butter on them if you want to. You could put lemon curd on them, or just
as it is.
Yeah,
But these are hot. So
they're hot, so that's why they're falling apart a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, they need to cool.
Yeah.
But I can already tell they're going to be fabulous.
They're really good. Good. Okay. Jen's
seal of
seal of approval. Actually, we need hubby's seal of approval.
Yeah, here we go.
Can you taste the Earl Grey?
I'm definitely getting the lemon. No,
Really?
maybe a hint
A
on
hint?
the back end. Actually, yeah, they're good. Just a little hint of the Earl Grey on the back end. It probably could use a little more, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too.
It's pretty good. Very good. That would be really nice for tea time. Molly came over. She wants some
You can
scone.
take the plate, sweetie.
Yeah, just take the plate. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, now we got a surprise.
Yeah, we have. Okay, I got glaze on my fingers. Hold on. While Dad's moving back over.
Yeah.
We'll get a scone later, Dad. Don't worry. Okay, so we have
a surprise.
we have a surprise. One of these is mine from my bag because I brought it over.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize you had it over here. Oh, these are yours. Don't mind me. Okay, here it is. Okay. If you've been with us for a while, then you know that we've been sold out of the cookbook and that we're working on the second edition of the cookbook
In an e-form.
in an electronic format, probably for Kindle. But we're okay. Probably for Kindle, but maybe a paperback version, maybe through Amazon. We're still trying to figure that out, and we're still working on the collating the document to their format that needs to be submitted. But in the meantime, right before our vacation,
I was searching for some gift bags, and I knew right where they were. They were in a bin underneath a cabinet. And so I pulled out the bin and was looking through, and I thought, oh my goodness, I found a stash of cookbooks.
Yep. So
That I forgot. I had no idea they were there because there were all these gift bags on top of it.
yeah. So if you were sad that you never got a cookbook because we sold out of them, we have more. We only have 24, so I have a dozen available in the online shop. You've got
I have
a dozen
some.
available in her Etsy shop. So if you want cookbooks, now's the time to get it.
Yeah.
And they're signed by Mom because this is her cookbook that she created years ago. So anyway, serendipity.
I know.
Pretty amazing. So they're available at the shop. But that said, we are still working on the second edition. I'm actually waiting for her to finish tweaking the original documents to send to me, and then I'm going to do the Amazon part. But we're hoping to have the second edition, and it's the exact same cookbook.
Yeah, no additions or subtractions
Yeah,
from this.
not changing any of the
No.
recipes. It's the same recipes. It'll just be in a different format
Yeah.
because we're going through Amazon.
Someone said run.
Yes,
Run and
it.
get the cookbook now. So they are in stock, and like I said, we're hoping to have the second edition available by the holidays. It all depends on
How fast we can do it.
Yeah, how fast we can get that done. So we'll keep you posted on that. And how you can get it, since it'll be at Amazon, it'll probably need, you'll have to buy it through Amazon. I don't think there's a way for us to do it through our shops.
We can send you a link.
Yeah, we'll post the link
Yeah.
somewhere, but you'll have to actually buy it through Amazon. Okay, and then the giveaway. I'm holding the giveaway to the end. I got to keep you. We got to keep you. So the one way we know we can keep you engaged for the whole time is to hold off on that giveaway. So there is a giveaway for tonight. I'm giving away a 4-ounce bag of French lavender rose.
Which is the lavender rose Earl Grey.
Which is the lavender rose Earl Grey, 4-ounce bag, and the key word is French, French, French.
Good.
Is the key word. So put that in the comments. Only do it one time, and then tomorrow I will go through all the comments and find everybody who put the word French in there, and then I'll do. I did that electronic name draw the last time because I was on travel. But Molly and I will be in the world headquarters of Tea for All Reasons with the Tea for All Reasons mug, pulling a name, a handwritten name out of the mug. Because I think that's more fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Oh, Molly agrees. Molly enjoys pulling the name out of the mug. So we'll do that tomorrow afternoon. For the winner of the French lavender rose, which smells delightful.
It's so wonderful.
I wish
love it.
that I liked flowers in my tea, but I don't like flowers in my tea. That's just me.
Yeah, but
There are
it's
plenty of people
I
who
like
do.
it. It's really delicious.
Yeah,
So.
it smells wonderful. I will say that, but I for sure don't like
And
flowers in my tea.
it's enough to have a tea party.
For sure.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so that's it for tonight.
Yeah.
We will be back next month. Originally, and I think on the event is created on Facebook for next month, and I think in the description I said it's just me, but that changed.
Yeah.
And it will be the two of us, and so I'm going to update that. But we are going to be talking about. I rebranded the fandom collections. Because of copyright issues, I was trying to get away from some copyright issues, and so that's why they all got rebranded, and some of the teas got renamed. So we're going to kind of go over that, and we'll show off some of the teas from all of those collections and do a demo and some kind of baking demo to go along with it.
We don't
because
know.
we got to cook something.
So there was a question, are the cookbooks already in the shop?
Yes.
In both shops.
Yep.
They are.
Yep. Go now. Shop now. People are shopping. And so the July Facebook Live, to get back to that, is the 15th of July at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Did somebody say something funny? Oh, okay. They want to gift the giveaway. I like it.
No,
I like
that's
it.
fine.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, just a little added thing. We are not planning to do a Christmas in July this year.
No.
With travel, and we're kind of doing bookend travel, hubby and I are, so it was just too much.
It was too much.
And since I brought so much back for you.
Yeah, you just had Christmas in June.
You just had Christmas in June.
Christmas in June.
So we're not doing Christmas in
Yeah.
July, but hang on, because there will be more in the future. There'll be something in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, and we are looking at what we're doing in the fall.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of maybe change things up a little bit this fall.
And we'll
But
be
it was-
celebrating our 3rd anniversary of Facebook Live. Crazy. I know. We'll have to do something special for
Yeah,
that.
we should do something.
Bloopers.
Bloopers.
The bloopers are in. I mean, they're
They're baked into
they're-
the...
exactly.
into each
It's a feature. We got bloopers
A
every
bloopers
single time.
reel.
Between our technical issues, oh, land sakes. I mean,
It's not too bad. We haven't dropped anything or...
no, we haven't
said
spilled anything.
Well, I think there was a bad word that came out.
It's not a bad word. It's not
Anyway.
a bad word.
very few bloopers. So
Yeah,
no, we don't have a bloopers reel.
No, we've got bloopers. Trust me. They're
Just go back
like
and
you
watch
said,
the
If
reel.
we spent the time, we would probably have like at least an hour of bloopers.
It would be a whole show of its own of where we've done this stuff. Okay, so anyway, so July 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the rebranded Phantom collections. And then in August, mark the calendar for this, and I'm going to create the event in Facebook this week so that you can mark it. So make sure when you see that event pop up in your news feed, click on interested or going, and that way you get notified when we go live.
Oh, good.
It's a nice feature in
Yeah.
Facebook. Like there are a lot of things wrong with Facebook, but one of the nice things is if you mark an event as interested or going, like you're interested in it or you're going to it, you will get a notification. I think it's about 15 minutes before the event is supposed to occur.
Very good.
That in our case, that we're going to go live, and then we typically go live within 5 minutes of the actual start time, unless we're having technical problems, and that happens. But typically, we try to start the live 5 minutes before 7 o'clock, and you'll get a notification of that too, that we have gone live. But you have to mark it as interested or going to get that notification.
And then you can watch the repeat almost immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
We
Next
save
day.
it. We save it. You can watch it that night. You can watch it the next day, or
Yeah.
even how long.
And then later on YouTube. So depending
Yeah.
on when I remember to actually download the video and then get it uploaded to YouTube. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll find pretty much all of the Facebook Lives that we've done are there. The only ones that I have not put there are the ones where we didn't do a baking demo.
or like an open house.
Yeah, like our
where
virtual
it was
open
just to sell
houses,
stuff.
there's no reason for me to post that there.
Yeah.
Most of those things are no longer available,
right. Yeah.
especially your stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're just showing stuff that we're selling. But where we do a tea demo and a baking demo in particular,
Right.
I do upload those to YouTube.
All right. So August, we've decided to do
Back to basics.
back to basics.
So August 19th, you can mark your calendar for that one. Like I said, I'll create the event in the next few days. And so when that pops up in your feed, mark it as interested or going, and you'll get notified of that. But back to basics. And so we have a lot of flavored teas, but we've never really profiled the basic unflavored teas. Like English breakfast, Irish breakfast, a plain Earl Grey. That's a flavored tea, but it's still considered a basic black. Some oolong green that are unflavored.
Yeah,
I do have a
some
couple.
basic.
So we're going to show some of that, maybe do a little bit of a redo on T101, since we're going back to the basics.
Yeah.
Because it has been 3 years since we did that
I know.
T101, and so maybe kind of revisit some of those
Yeah.
principles of how to brew your tea. I mean, we talk about it every time. Don't oversteep.
Yeah.
Don't oversteep.
Okay.
Anyway, so
All right,
that's
good.
it.
Yep.
Yep, so that's it.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We appreciate you coming back and hanging with us.
And for sticking with us,
yeah,
for
sticking
sure,
with us.
through our bloopers
Yeah.
and technical issues.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Thanks for that.
We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you learned something. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks for
See you on
joining us.
Facebook and in the group.
Yeah. Join the group.
Join the group.
Tea for All Reasons Facebook group.
Yeah.
Come on over. It's a private group. You have to answer questions, but after that, you're in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night.